welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to make this video for quite a bit because I haven't done it in like 2 years almost. The last time I had done it was like in 2018 of like spring quarter. It was just a tea time video, and basically what tea time videos are for me is that I sit down with my cup of tea and hopefully we can get some things figured out, rant about a bunch of things, and talk about a bunch of random stuff. I kind of use this time like opportunity to kind of get stuff out of my brain and for you guys to maybe get things answered or just to have something play in the background. I just thought about some of the most asked questions that you guys have for me. I think I will try and briefly get into it rather than deeply get into it. A lot of the questions that I've had in the past about how you can get into UW, and you guys literally send me your stats, like your GPA, or it's like you just send me all your numbers. I appreciate you guys like coming to me and trusting me with this information. I can't say a yes or no because I can't give you like a false hope saying that you might get into UW, and I can't say that no, you can't, in the sense that I have no say. I'm not part of the admissions team, and I also had said in one of my videos about my high school background that you can't narrow yourself down to numbers, and you're more than just a number, a score, or whatever. You are a student and you are a human being, and the best advice that I can give you guys is just use those experiences that you've had, that you've listed to me, and talk about how meaningful it is to you and what it means for you when you enter, you know, a college society. I can't word for word tell you how to write your essays, and I've seen your essays. They are great. I can't do as much as you guys might hope, and I feel so bad. As much as you guys are so curious about all of this and whatnot, and if you watched my video through and through, I was like the most average student number wise. For me to see your guys' GPAs and scores, I'm like, holy crap, like yes, like I want you guys to come here, especially with the experiences that you've had and picked up. The school is competitive, that's the reality of it, especially if you are out of state. It can be a little tougher for you guys, and numbers aren't always the thing to make you stand out. And that's why I highlight experience, how to articulate those experiences better, having people read your essays, you know, constructive criticism from other people be taken in and absorbed. And I've seen students who refuse to take constructive criticism. And not to say that because they didn't take my advice, they didn't get in, but it's a valuable thing. It's a valuable thing to take on another person's opinion, and it's a valuable thing to open yourself up, because this is a time where you shouldn't be afraid of anything, and you shouldn't be afraid of yourself, and you shouldn't be afraid of what's gonna happen in the future, because no one knows what's gonna happen in the future. So that's just my take on everyone who lovingly sends out paragraphs. And this is just for everyone who is thinking about sending me a paragraph about their experiences and stats. Just use that moment and find something that you can move the person reading your essay. That's what you're trying to do. That's how you tell your story, is through your essay. They don't know anything about you until you write your words. I can only do so much, and I know you guys can only do what you can as high schoolers, and I just wish all of you guys like the best of luck. Not to say I don't want those messages in my DMs anymore. It's just really think about who you are as a person and think of yourself more than those numbers that you are about to send a total stranger. That is my first address. Took me a while to get there. Another thing that you guys have messaged me about is living on campus or off campus. I say yes and no to living on campus. I say no because it is expensive. Me, just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should do it. Because I think if you're gonna pay over like $1,400 or something, I don't remember the cost of living on campus, but it was a lot. If you're gonna be paying $1,400 for a dorm, you could get another place for $1,400 and have your own room, a private kitchen with like maybe 3 other people or something. Say yes to living on campus in the sense that you might be able to gain experiences of meeting new people, but that also solely depends on how much you are willing to interact with other people and socialize with other people. You know, I feel like everyone should live on campus at least once, if you are able to, just to have that experience. But to do it all 4 years, I'd say no. For me, I lived on campus for 2 years. I lived with a roommate my first year, and then the second year I lived in a single room but with 9 other girls. So I did have my own private space. It was just, I was clustered with a bunch of other individuals and it was kind of like claustrophobic at times because I'm not like a big people person. I'm very introverted. So just to have someone around me like almost at all times kind of irritated me. Just because I'm more like I need to be alone to function, which is weird. It's so weird. I lived on North Campus in McMahon Hall. That was the cheapest hall. My experience there was kind of average. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the greatest experience I've had in my life, but I also wouldn't say it's the worst. I'd say my worst moment was rooming with my good friend, and rooming with her, the idea of it was not a bad thing, but the bad thing was that I had lost her as a friend. Overall, there's nothing I can do to really salvage it, and nothing that she can do either. Like, we did try, at least I could tell that it wasn't the same as it was when we had first started college, when we were in high school. That's also something you gotta consider, is that it can either make or break a friendship, and it's a scary thing. But also living with someone random can either make or break your sanity, in the sense of like, you don't know how this person's gonna be, you don't know if they're gonna be disrespectful towards you or your things. I'd say do whatever you feel is right, because I'm really bad at decision making. So, and I know a lot of people fear the fact of like, oh my gosh, like I can't get someone to sign off or co-sign my house or whatever that I want to live in. And truthfully, I never had a co-signer for the house that I had lived in. They did run a background check on me. They never ran like a credit check or anything. I just said I was a UW student, and they trusted that fact enough to let me reside in their house. You really have to be strategic how you look for places, but you also have to be strategic in weighing out the costs of living for what you're getting, how much you want to commute, or if you just want to live like a few blocks down in a neighborhood from UW. Like there's so many different options, and I never knew those options until I was forced to know when I forgot to apply for housing on time. The best way is only for you to consider based on, you know, your financial aid, your scholarships, whatever, and how much you're willing to pay for what you're getting. Another thing that has taken over my college life has been relationships. Was never one to be in a lot of relationships. I was only in one relationship seriously throughout high school, and then I got to college. I moved on pretty quickly. I don't know if that's a proud thing for me to say, but I do. Some people will say do not date while you're in college because it's like the time to be free and live your best life, but it's also the toughest years. It can be a lot, and for me, I enjoyed meeting people. So like my freshman year, I always met like a bunch of people from Tinder, and it was oftentimes like the weirdest stuff happening. I just enjoyed meeting people, and I enjoyed talking to people and seeing people in different categories of life. People who are like travelers, people who are like in their careers, people who are college students. You know, it's one of those things that you have to feel that is right for you again. And you know, how much time do you really have to focus on another person? And if you don't have the time to really even focus on yourself, it's not the right time to date someone. I think I had to work through that quite a bit, where like, you know, I wasn't really taking care of myself like freshman year and then a little bit of sophomore year. And sophomore year was like my peak time, where like I started my YouTube channel and I was like really up and just excited, all of these things. And then like when my mom's health kind of came into my mix of life, it kind of like changed things. What were my priorities? Like, did I just want to enjoy my time with people, or like what even was I getting into? I think relationships are a tough thing in the sense that you can think that you're getting yourself into something right, and then you think that you're ready, but in reality you might not be. And sometimes it's like hard to gauge that. College is a time for you to actually just meet people, and whether it be friendships, explore yourself. Since you are probably away from home, it's a time to do it and learn on your own. Prioritizing yourself first and your mental health, because it will take time. It will take a lot of your mental health when things go wrong, depending on how you adjust and how you handle things. So those are kind of like the 3 things that have taken over my time at UW, and the questions that have been raised more than anything. I love sharing things with you guys if it helps you learn, because when I was growing up, and especially watching YouTube for certain things, like I always appreciated people who really opened up and felt they were able to comfortably share. But yeah, hopefully that shed light on some things, especially the first 2 questions. And I felt like the 3rd question was more personal, that I do get from time to time, because I really open myself up on Instagram, you guys. Literally everything of my life on Instagram. I just have no filter. And I hope that I can do this more often and maybe in a more structured way. I kind of usually do these on the whim and hope for the best. Thank you for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Or if you feel more comfortable just DMing me on Instagram, I will really try my best to. Sometimes I don't get to people. I will really try my best. I will. Bottom of my heart. So now I have to figure out my thumbnail for this video.